So let me tell you about what happened earlier. So he was cooking noodles in the kitchen or whatever, and I go upstairs. He's like standing in one spot, like boiling the water to put the pasta in, right?
Okay.
So then I go upstairs to grab like my drink or whatever. And then as I'm coming back downstairs, I see him run past the stairs with his like leather jacket on and then right back into the same spot. And the way my brain interpreted that was, oh, he was still in the same spot, but then his evil self from another dimension just came in and then killed his actual self. His evil Dillon is now like cooking the pasta. That's how it looked like in my head.
Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome to Boyz Night, where we're going to talk about the Grinch Stole Christmas, I guess.
Yeah, no, we just needed like that little story there to really like hype ourselves up for this.
It's to let everyone know we're consummate professionals here.
And dying on the inside as
exactly.
well.
How stupid am I? I'll tell you.
Tell us all about it.
So tonight's episode of Boyz Night, we're going to be covering the 2000 version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, otherwise known as How the Grinch Became Canadian.
Otherwise, How the Grinch committed a public suicide.
Oh my god.
Because
this movie would have been so much better if he just did that. Oh my god.
Also, there's gonna be a slight segment where we talk about the Who's anatomy and also separately the Grinch's anatomy, but that'll be later on.
Because you can't talk about the Grinch without getting into that stuff these days.
You really can't.
There's entire Reddit pages based
about
on
his fucking ass, literally. That's not a joke. I'm serious.
Yeah. So, I guess I should talk a little bit about the history of this movie.
Oh boy.
How exactly the Grinch did become Canadian.
Because I'm curious myself and like how he became Canadian.
So, Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss himself, died in, I think, 91 or 92.
Yeah.
And after that, because we know specific years here. And after that, his wife started trying to merchandise all of his work that he was previously very stingy about doing. He kept everything very close to the chest.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah. And
he knew like what was on the horizon. He saw this movie coming and he tried to stop it till his last dying breath.
I suppose it took a good decade, but as the 21st century hit, a plethora of wonderful and amazingly scary Dr. Seuss live action adaptations began to take form. Beautiful creations like Horton Hears a Who and
That's
animated. The Cat in the Hat.
Horton Hears a Who is animated.
I know.
That's getting into the later, equally gross and disgusting CGI, like fully like animated movies. But
right. So the first of these things, or at least the first really big one, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey
as the Grinch.
Yeah. So the way this came to be was, Dr. Seuss's widow had this big auction, and she had all these very specific specifications,
words
as they are, where it had to be. It's just a bunch of financial based specifications, and then there were some specific actors that she was thinking of, like the stature of Robin Williams was mentioned, as was Dustin Hoffman as the Grinch.
At that age, even at when this movie came out, he'd still been really fucking old.
Yeah, so
he would not have
you're
been able
gonna
to
love
move
this
around
one.
This makeup.
So the first idea was Jack Nicholson. Fox tried to get the rights to it, and Jack Nicholson was their suggestion for who. Could play the Grinch.
I guess he could do a creepy smile, but it's also like the fact of like they're gonna have to move around. And
here's the Grinch.
Yeah, seriously. Here's Grinchy. Yeah, like there's gonna have to be an insane amount of movement in the makeup.
And the director was gonna be the director of Bruce Almighty and the Nutty Professor.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then and John Hughes also wanted to make this movie.
That would have been.
Do you know who John Hughes is?
No idea.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah. The director of that.
Okay.
Every 80s movie that's like a teen, like anything
Ferris
with Molly
Bueller
Ringwald.
Too. Really?
Yeah.
All right.
There was a version where Eddie Murphy was going to be the Grinch, but obviously, eventually, it made its way to Ron Howard who, before he pitched his idea for the Grinch, he wanted to get more, in his version of the movie, he wanted to get more into Cindy Lou Who and analyze her character, because that was necessary. And he wanted to explore the Grinch's backstory, which, of course, was also necessary. And
totally needed.
Yeah.
Really got to go in depth about it. Like it's just the one.
We had to know.
Just like the one book.
Listen. So they ended up hiring Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Who at the time was working on Man in the Moon, and he came to the audition for the Grinch in character as Andy Kaufman, which convinced them that he could stay in character well
enough to do the Grinch.
Yeah.
I guess.
So they cast him. And, it's not a bad idea because we'll get into it later. I don't think anyone else could work through that makeup, that heavy makeup, the way he does. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold your opinion on that.
I'll wait.
Yeah. But on set, because he's Jim Carrey, and they made a whole documentary about his bad behavior when he's method acting for Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
You've seen that, right?
No, I haven't.
Jim and Andy?
But I could only imagine. Like, if he's also method acting with, like, the Grinch, too, he's just, like, going around fucking with people?
Yeah, no, he'd just leave for days, and he harassed the makeup guy so bad that he quit and had to be convinced to come back on set with the promise that Jim would behave well.
Okay.
I remember that.
And yeah, what was produced was this over the course of 4 months, between the late
fucking took 4 months.
Yeah, between late '99 and early 2000.
I'm gonna fucking shoot myself.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I could see that.
You want to guess what the budget was?
No, because I'm gonna guess it wrong.
$123 million.
Yeah. All right.
It's all the prosthetic noses. Cost quite a bit.
Oh god, dude. No, could you imagine like the sets though? Like trying to build that shit?
Mm-hmm. No, this movie is obviously extremely expensive.
Well, I mean, how much of it is actually practical? Like, I'd imagine, like, the actual town is probably practical, right?
Well,
a lot of it is animated. Probably the trees are all animated. Or not animated, you don't think
but
CGI.
Yeah, the fucking overhead shots, especially when he's, like, looking down at the town, that's all, like, fucking just an image. He's staring off into a fucking green screen.
He's just staring into a green screen.
I
hate you, green screen.
Holy shit.
So,
yeah,
just for you guys to... So, what do you think we should get into first? The sets, the characters...
Where the fuck do you start with this movie?
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, really, you just...
Alright, let's start with Jim Carrey as the Grinch.
Actually...
I think that's a good idea.
We should start with that Anthony Hopkins was the narrator for this. Which
he
did a great job.
He recorded all of his lines in a day. Which is pretty obvious because
he has a great fucking voice, but it was just funny to us because then we just kept like picturing him as Hannibal Lecter narrating a Dr. Seuss story and just saying Clarice a lot.
It's like there's a lot of dark undertones to this movie. I feel like if they just had Hannibal Lecter, if they just cranked up the dial just a little bit, like we'd have Hannibal Lecter like reading off like the narration. We'd have a lot of like really dark things happening.
FBI busts into Whoville to try and find Hannibal Lecter.
Here's what I think the main problem with this movie is, and then we can kind of dissect all the bigger things.
All the everything.
Yeah, I think the main problem that you could shove everything else under, like the tentpole problem, is that this movie just has it destroys the efficiency that the original one had. The original one was very short. You get the point. Everything is like bang, 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 and you're done. Yeah, you got the whole story. This movie takes every scene, and it has to because it's a giant big budget feature film by Ron Howard. It stretches everything out and it kills the efficiency. You don't need any of this.
Yeah, a lot of things are like super pointless. Like it's like what? The Grinch. Oh, he's a grumpy guy. Like he
Let's talk about how he flew in on
you got that. Like he's
baby,
grumpy.
Yeah.
You got that. It's cool in the original one, but because this is a feature film, you got to show and Ron Howard wanted to. That was his whole reason for making this. He wanted to explore the backstory of the Grinch.
We need more lore on a children's book is clearly what, everyone wanted.
I'm so glad Ron Howard expanded on the lore that is the Grinch. I really needed this in my life. This is all canon now.
It's so unsatisfying.
See, when are they going to declare that all the Dr. Seuss movies up until this point have been part of the same universe, and then we have the Seuss CU? I want that.
Dr. Seuss.
No, the Seuss Cinematic Universe. The SCU. When are we getting that? I want it right now.
The Seuss CU?
Yeah.
The Seuss CU?
Yeah.
All the Dr. Seuss characters
has kind of a rhymey thing to it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Grinch builds, an Infinity Gauntlet, is what you said earlier when he was building the gift for.
It looked like that he was creating that.
Yeah, Santa, and then he snaps, and then just gets faded out into existence.
I'll show those who's a thing or two.
Half of them disappear.
So we were talking about. I guess
that's also really dark. Yeah, he just in order to destroy Christmas, I have to destroy half their population. Oh, that's really dark.
Of this only town on this snowflake on this speck.
We're really cranking up the dial on just how dark this movie could be, just with a snap, just like that. Go on, Dillon, before I go any farther with this idea. Please, take it away from me.
Look.
So we were talking about the cinematography of this movie when we were watching it, and how
it looks like
absolutely terrible it is. There's no color. It's all faded out.
Yeah, for something
the directing is weirdly fast paced at times. Did you see that?
It is, and also it should be the Whoville should be very colorful, but for whatever reason, the whole movie is quite misty and dull.
And there's all these zoom ins, and it's all just very.
The best way to describe,
annoying.
And this isn't a thing of this isn't any part of editing or anything like that. Just the film itself, when it's just on a static scene, even. It just the best way to describe this movie is it's just colorful and not at the same time. Because you have all the Christmas lights going on, but then it's just they went way overboard with the snow effect. I can't speak tonight. They went overboard with the snow effect, and that just cuts out and just makes it dull. It looks like they're filming this in some airport hangar too. It's just everything is filmed down this one stretch with they always cut back to that little town square area.
Yeah, that Christmas one tree. Strip of area there, the town square. Everyone.
You don't see any other parts of town other than that one scene where he literally incinerates the fucking Christmas tree. You see other nooks and crannies of the.
There is one good scene. There is one good scene.
What's the one good scene?
Is
it when he shaves himself?
No.
Okay.
No. It's directed okay. It's performed okay. Everything is okay.
So what's the one scene that's okay?
When he's telling all the Who's off after he gets
for the Christmas
after he gets made into the
or whatever
he gets made into the Cheermeister where he tells them all off.
Yeah, before he Michael Bay's the fucking Christmas tree.
This is all. What did you think of the character of the Grinch? Just solely the character of the Grinch. Was he performed well? Did they write him well?
I mean, I guess
they didn't really write him. I is what I would like to argue.
Explain.
So, the whole time I was sitting there watching this movie, and I even said this while we were watching it, is that it just they took the parts of the actual, the Grinch Stole Christmas, the song, where they're describing him with these really gross, just with the lyrics and everything like that. They just made that the character, and then it's just Jim Carrey ad-libbing and just doing his own thing.
How is that different than the original? Him being gross.
No, I'm saying, but they play that up as that's his whole. Yeah, because you could see him being gross in the animated thing, just his expressions and that's what makes him gross and his character of just hating. Christmas with vitriol, that's what makes him ugly.
Wouldn't that just be a part of making him live action though? Is making him more obviously gross?
No, yeah, but not
Isn't that why it's a bad thing to make.
Yeah, but you don't have to make him fucking eat glass bottles and grossly eat an onion that we could see the fucking.
It was just so stupid. I found it funny. I would have liked to have seen him take himself a little bit more seriously. I think that's one thing that really hurts this movie is that they try and make a live action movie into a cartoon. It's Instead of like trying to like, okay, like it may be a cartoon, but try and adapt it to be, you know, like real life. They try and take the cartoon and try and make a cartoon into real life. So like that's why you see a lot of people with no top lip, with like really weird looking noses and weird looking hair. Like I felt like if they did like a different thing to like make it seem like it to be like Whoville, but you know, more normal.
I guess then we'd have like some weird real. It'd be too realistic though, and then we just
think a lot of other themes,
some Hallmark movie
like
a green guy.
I think like a lot of themes that they were trying to go for would make more sense if they did that, because you see throughout the movie that they try and go for the theme that like all the Who's care about is like commercialism and getting gifts and like,
which that goes back into the actual.
They added that.
Yeah. I mean, but that does play. That actually is like making that one scene that Dillon mentioned pretty good. Because like he actually does.
That was
but you're not supposed to tell the Who's off.
Also,
you're not supposed to think that the Who's are these pretentious bad guys.
Yeah, that was
the Who's are the good guys.
Yeah, like that was part of the story.
That's the whole message of the film. The Grinch is this like just sour, gross person that lives in the mountains, hating these people because they're happy. But then he finds out that even after he takes their Christmas away, they're still happy because they're just happy people and they love the seasons. And they understand something about life that he doesn't. Why is it that they're learning from the Grinch?
Because they wanted to modernize this movie for the 21st century.
It's a universal story, isn't it?
No. Yeah, well, the normal, like, the original, like, just the base story that was told beautifully.
The efficiently told story.
The efficiently told, like, we don't need fucking lore in a Dr. Seuss movie. You're supposed to just... You're fucking rolling with it.
Best lore ever.
Yeah, it's
like the Saw movies, just the greatest lore around.
Fuck off.
I really want to know about all the characters.
Yeah, we'll watch all the Saw movies, I guess, at one point, you fucking asshole. We're not talking about Saw. We're done with Halloween, you ass.
For now, at the very least.
Yeah, until next year or whatever, if we're still doing this.
But, I mean, like, it's not like you have to tell the Grinch story the same way every time. I do kind of like the twist on it that they put that, like, the Who's aren't all, like, happy-go-lucky. Like, they're people, and in this town, they care about commercialism, and their mayor, like, promotes it, like, buy things on Christmas, like, have, like, all the greatest lights up, like, buy the most expensive things.
I don't even think it's the mayor, too. There's just like, these little, like, just competitions with each other. It wasn't even the mayor. There's parts of the mayor is, like, definitely pushing that stuff, but there's also, like, the fucking lights thing with Cindy Lou's mom and that Martha May. She's like, oh, and check out what I got. I got a machine gun that puts up my lights. And then she just starts shooting her house.
I have this really, like, overcomplicated machine gun looking thing that...
Look at this family heirloom that's 100 years old.
What did you guys think of the inclusion, or I guess the expansion of Cindy Lou Who's character?
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, she wasn't like
puns.
Well, obviously, but what they did. What did you think about what they did? Like
what they did. I mean,
all of it's unnecessary. The whole movie is unnecessary because the original story is so efficient.
What's so different about like what she did in like the original? Like she like changed the Grinch is like what she did.
No, yeah, but in the original, she just steps out of her house and like she
didn't do anything in the original.
She's 2 years old and she just kind of shuffles in and her. I wouldn't even say she really changes the Grinch. She just kind of...
No, the only major thing she does...
is a symbol of childlike wonder.
Yeah. I'm just going to call it the efficient good version. In the efficient version, he just like... She just is supposed to walk in on him stealing the tree. There's not this like... She gets a song. It's a shitty song too. It's fucking horrible.
Want to hear something funny about that actress, by the way?
Is she like a #1 artist on iTunes?
She's a musician now.
Fuck. Alright.
What's her name?
Taylor Momsen.
Taylor Momsen?
It's not that like... And she's the front woman of the American band The Pretty Reckless. Learned that from Wikipedia.
Oh, dude, awesome.
I've heard The Pretty Reckless
Here's the thing. I don't even think that she necessarily...
Have you? Wait, have you actually heard their music?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
a while ago. I don't really remember a whole lot from it, but I definitely heard songs from them.
Cool. So... Back to my point.
Well, I don't think you saw the future.
Oh my fucking lord,
of Taylor Momsen, dude.
Yo,
I witnessed it. Maybe not here on the podcast.
She wasn't a
but
very good singer in this movie.
No, I don't think that. I don't even think that necessarily. I think just the song and the way it was paced and everything made her like sound horrible.
Where are you, Christmas?
Yeah,
where can are you, Christmas?
Yeah, it's like way too spaced out. Like how long she has to like hold a note and everything like that. It's fucking.
This movie does not like promote like also, musicals at all either.
Just to go back into like if we're talking about the expansion of Who Gives a Fuck, It's a Little Girl. And just the Grinch
as one might so elegantly put it.
I don't care. And they're the only
you ever
decent
notice
characters.
that Nick is really efficient at like speaking?
Dude, you ever notice that you should shut the fuck up while I'm trying to explain
something? You can't
cut
anything out of his sentences.
You can't even edit it out. You don't even know how to use like Audacity.
It's because every word is so
efficient.
Efficiently put in there. Efficient, dude?
Anyway.
Dude, slunk?
Don't even get me started on the slunk thing.
Yeah, no. I learned slunk is like an actual word. I don't remember what it means, but I learned it. And the Grinch can do it. He can slunk.
No, that's the past tense of slink, you shit.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, I knew that much, but I don't remember what slink means.
Well, you can't say someone's slunking.
You're slunking right now. Again, it's bothering me. Stop slunking.
Anyway, yeah, whatever. We derailed. I was trying to make a point. I'm gonna fucking kick you in the face.
Gonna have to get on a better angle, man.
Oh, dude, fuck off. Anyway, no, I was trying to make the point that they're the only Cindy Lou and the Grinch are the only like. The Grinch is insane in this movie and just a gross bag, but they're the only like decent people in this film, which is it goes into what we were saying earlier. It's just such a weird contrast from the original. Like they're all just these like wholesome people, and it just turns out to be Cindy Lou Who and the Grinch who like are just somehow more wholesome than literally everyone in the fucking town. Somehow, I didn't get that change at all. Yeah. Like, or just how that played out. I don't think they like realize that that's how that comes across.
The Grinch can be a villain when he's used effectively, right?
Yeah,
but he's a really weird anti-hero, right?
Yeah,
because this movie really wants you to sympathize with this kid who like massively overreacted to something, to like kids making fun of him when he was in elementary school.
Yeah, he was 8 years old with a beard, so he just decided to go live up on the mountain by himself with a dog.
That's
canon now. That's canon to the Grinch lore.
By the way,
after he
shaves
himself.
I just want to point this out. The reason why the new Lion King didn't work, terrible movie.
It didn't work.
Is the same reason that the dog in this movie doesn't work. The dog in the original Grinch was this, like, because it was animated, you could make all these expressions, you could grab him by the scruff of his back and throw him around, and it doesn't, it's not animal abuse, because it's a cartoon. In this, the dog can do one thing: sit there.
Yeah, and then you can have
side. Fred from Scooby-Doo make a few sounds,
which is the weirdest thing that he does that.
It's so that there is the reason why you shouldn't make this a live action thing. It doesn't look good. So you don't
have like Jim Carrey like throwing like a live dog around.
And Jim Carrey tried his heart out, man. I mean, he had a mental breakdown multiple times on set because he was in this costume. It took like 9,000 hours overall. That's an actual number.
Really?
To apply all the makeup to the people in this movie over the course of production. And 3 hours every day for Jim Carrey. I mean, he tries his hardest.
I don't know how.
And he's not
what?
Great. But he's not terrible. He's just doing his thing.
He just overacts is all.
You're just... If you're watching this movie now...
I don't think the Grinch needs to talk that much.
No, well, that's what was so great about the original.
The Grinch doesn't need to do a lot of the things that he did in this movie, but he did them.
Well, how else are you going to pad out, an hour and a half other than him lighting the fucking Christmas tree on fire.
Yeah, like that whole thing is just.
And then they like do a bunch of parodies too. Do that whole like Cheermeister thing. They have like they have them playing the fucking song that's in like every sports when they accomplish their goal. Whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That song they're playing during the hacky sack race, and then
the Grinch is happy that he beat children.
No, and then and then he knocks one into the stratosphere, and then they do like some Michael Bay like cool guy not boring. It's not boring. It's just like I don't even. How would you describe it, Long? I can't even think of.
Yeah,
words.
no, I wouldn't say it's boring. It has like it's entertaining to watch. I feel just of like watching what's happening on screen is just ridiculous.
It's just
and like completely overblown every single bit of it.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like again with that explosion thing. Also it's like from the explosion happens from this like toy like clown car too, and it like lights up the town.
Because in a cartoon, it makes sense when characters are smaller and taller because they're probably children. But either way, it's just a cool looking design for these characters. But because we're doing because we chose to do a live action version,
we had to
shrink people.
We have the power to
that's like a
people.
thing that they tiny people exist alongside the regular sized people. It's never explained. They'll go into the backstory of the Grinch and expand Cindy Lou Who's character.
Because who cares?
And they'll add like this mayor character and this love interest character and all this stuff, but they're not going to explain why there's tiny people walking around.
No, that's just part of the town, dude. You gotta like, you just have to accept that it's there.
God,
and that's all canon too. Like tiny people in cars, that's all canon.
It's all relevant to the plot. I can assure you. You know what else is relevant to the plot? During the actual stealing of Christmas.
My headache.
Yeah, well that. But we all had a fucking headache, I think, except you, because you haven't like watched.
Yeah, I haven't seen this. This is my first time watching the movie, like all the way through.
That's usually the case.
Yeah, to assume you would have a headache over a movie like me and Dillon have it's probably not going to happen. We'll have all the headaches, and you could just sit there like, I never seen movies.
Oh, I like this one. I'm
also
stupid.
Been talked about a lot, so there's not a lot more to say about the whole thing.
I don't know why there's such a big following of this fucking movie. I don't get it.
It's the Grinch. He's one of the most popular characters.
All right, hold on. No. I get that. Why this version is so popular is what evades me.
Grew up with it. I had this thing.
Yeah, it's the early 2000s. That's why we're here. A lot of these movies we talk about are nostalgic just because they're a part of the early 2000s.
It's because everyone's a fucking idiot and they haven't watched the original.
Everyone just accepted this trash for 9 years.
Yeah, all right.
Like, yeah, we have this movie. I guess we'll just accept it. It's fine.
I'm so glad they finally speaking of just a current thing they did. I'm so glad they finally released the original one in the highest quality. They released it on Blu-ray recently. They finally did that.
I haven't.
It's so amazing. I'm
so
Charlie glad.
Brown movies.
And you know what they'll put it next to is this version. Because I've seen steelbooks of this fucking movie. Who are you?
Hey.
Why would you spend the money on that?
Do you want to know what the costume was made out of? The Grinch costume.
Ass? No. I don't know.
It was yakfur dyed green.
The fuck is yakfur?
It's only fitting.
Yaks.
Yeah, the fur. I mean, that's honestly, I just imagine that's what the Grinch is, just a bunch of yak fur, on a green human being. That's.
It's like a latex suit or something with
The makeup actually isn't too bad. In the face isn't too bad.
It's made by the American Werewolf in London guy.
Really?
Yeah, and the Howling.
I'm so glad that guy graduated from making really awesome werewolf effects to doing this. Grinch. Yeah, no, I'm really fucking glad.
Keep doing this. This is what the people want to see.
That wasn't the guy that quit because Jim Carrey was mean.
No, of course not.
That was a different guy.
I want to pose a question. Who do you think is more popular of a Christmas character, the Grinch or Ebenezer Scrooge?
The Grinch.
Yeah, I'd have to say the Grinch.
There's not much of an argument there, man.
Really?
However, they are both played by Jim Carrey, which is funny.
I mean, the Grinch is a more of an interesting character.
They're kind of the same. I feel like it was also though Scrooge was used as the basis for Dr. Seuss to make this character though.
Do you guys want to hear something else funny about the costume?
I would love to.
The director, Ron Howard, as we've mentioned before.
Use his own scrotum hair to help make the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of that.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
He also he also dressed up like in the Grinch costume one day to show solidarity with Jim Carrey. But Jim Carrey got mad because he thought he was just like a double that was like really terrible and looked nothing like him. So he had to explain what he was doing. And then Jim Carrey was like, "That's awesome, man." Said just like that.
Said exactly like that. Awesome, man. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome, man.
Hey, you know what we both... actually, all three of us watched before we saw The Grinch tonight? What? We saw I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus SNL
We're not talking about SNL.
Yeah.
Fuck
Why don't
off.
we talk about that really quick? What'd you think of it?
Oh, it was just fantastic. I loved every second of it.
What'd you love about it?
I loved Scarlett Johansson.
How did everybody do in that? Why was that funny?
It really wasn't that funny. Like
wasn't funny?
No, it really wasn't. Like I don't know why you thought that was.
Why wasn't it funny?
It wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't make me laugh. That's why.
We're talking about fucking SNL. It's a current skit too. It's not even like an early 2000s skit that they did.
Did you really just show me like? Did you really just show me something that came out recently on SNL?
Yeah. And we're trying to talk about it.
No wonder it's garbage. No, oh my God, get the hell out of here with that. But bring it back to the early 2000s when SNL was good, please.
Do you know who was on SNL in the early 2000s?
No.
Okay. Long knows what he's talking about.
Long. I'm sorry, I have to stop.
Anything must be better than this.
Look, SNL was only good up until after
right now,
Will Ferrell left, which was probably 2001, 2002.
Are you one of those people?
Yeah, it's not. It's
you
not
like the Bill Hader years.
All right, excluding Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, Fred Armisen.
We're not fucking talking about SNL. We're talking about the fucking Grinch. Why'd you make us divert?
The Dillon
veer a hard left. Yeah, the Dillon that stole the fucking topic
Scarlett
of what
Johansson
we're talking about.
was kissing Santa Claus, dude. It has to...
What the fuck does that have to do with the Grinch? Seriously.
Christmas. Maybe it was the Grinch.
Dude, the Dillon who veered a hard left into talking about SNL when we're talking about a fucking
You're
Grinch
a mean
movie.
one, Dillon Kane. You really are a bitch. So back to the Grinch.
You should keep going.
No, don't.
Yeah, I will keep going. The Grinch, what a great movie. Loved it, every second of it. What a great movie. Wouldn't you agree, Nick? Nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
Is that your rating?
No, it's not.
You didn't even say it.
I don't even know where I'm going with this.
Fuck you. Such a shit.
Thoughts.
What? Did you say failed thoughts? Oh my god, this fucking episode is a shit show. No, I don't know. This fucking movie is just... it just exists.
I didn't like that the Grinch was naked in this movie in front of children.
Oh my god, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Let's talk about this for a good second here.
That his testicles might be underneath all of his hair.
No, that's totally different. There's that one scene...
It would have to be under it.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. Here's the thing, right?
What do you think?
Shut up. Like? No, fuck off. I was trying to say something. There's that one scene in the movie.
Did you see SNL recently?
Holy shit. There is that one scene in the movie where Sidney Lou goes up and visits him in his, creepy dungeon lair. And he's, really in her face about it, right? We were discussing, that whole scene.
Yeah.
And,
and they're trying to keep the rating PG-13.
Yeah.
With all their might.
Yeah, even though he's, clearly fucking naked. How is he not, just, slapping her in the face?
I mean, I don't really want to...
With his dick.
I don't want to think about that.
Is this actually a thing you want us to talk about?
Yeah, let's go into depth about this.
I wasn't the one that brought up...
I don't feel too comfortable with this conversation.
Here's the thing. When it's a cartoon, it works, right?
Because cartoons don't have genitalia, but people do.
Yeah,
and
people do. And see, this is another problem with the movie is because it's all expanded, stretched out and stuff.
Also, when you have, 22-year-old...
It makes you...
immature fucks. We're going to sit there discussing how his dick should be slapping her in the face.
It just makes you
in that scene.
It just makes you think, man, about all these little things. Where's his genitalia?
Where's his asshole? I didn't see an asshole.
What we
Shut up,
dude! You were so excited when you found out. Was it you or was it you? One of you was so excited about like when you found out that Cindy Lou Who didn't have one of the Who noses because she hadn't hit the age.
No, that was me.
Her nose.
Yeah, because
This is the kind of stuff that you get excited about when you watch this movie.
This is all
because
canon.
it's part of the expanded lore.
Yeah, it's an expanded lore. It's all
part
canon.
Of the experience.
I mean, it is part of the experience, but it's also part of the expanded Dr. Seuss lore.
The Grinch ride. Enjoy the experience.
At Universal Studios. Cha-ching.
This was actually a Universal Studios film.
No, I know. And so was Cat in the Hat. We're going to talk about Cat in the Hat one day.
Universal Studios Grinch ride. I want to ride it.
Oh my god. You want to ride the Grinch?
Absolutely.
Fuck off. Yeah, no, because they finally, in this expanded lore that Ron Howard graced us with, we got to finally find out why Cindy Lou doesn't look like a fucking monster.
The expanded lore told through the bottom of a toilet bowl.
Oh.
This movie is disgusting.
Yeah.
And ugly.
Oh, did we talk about how it just looks all like faded out? Not like the film itself looks like it was like tinted on purpose. I'm not even talking about the visuals of like the colors all washed out, whatever. It just looks like it was like tinted, and everything's just blurry.
Well, yeah, it's just like everything. It's in.
Yeah,
it's constantly snowing.
The visuals and the cinematography.
Gross.
Are terrible.
Fucking.
It's one of the worst aspects.
Fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we were also curious. Like, I wanted to like now that we're expanding on the lore. Like, what do the Who's do like after Christmas? Like when Christmas is over, they have like, like the whole rest of the year to get through.
Well, you see the whole rest of the year.
What does the Who's economy look like?
Yeah, well, their Christmas tree's on the dollar bill, as we saw in that.
Do they have the same holidays as us? They have Christmas, so they must have the other ones too, right?
What does Mother's Day and Father's Day look like if they're all like delivered through a tube, right?
Yeah, that's another. That's
well, no, they were like parachuted down on those like little like baby carousels,
right?
And the Grinch like knocked a baby out of the way, and that baby died.
Where's he come from? What's his deal?
I don't know.
Yeah, like
we know his backstory, but somehow it just creates more questions.
Yeah. Like now I need like more in-depth lore on the Grinch
Ron
universe.
Howard, where you at? Make the
Grinch
too.
Yeah, like who's sending down these babies?
No,
like
dude,
down on these carousels.
I sincerely think because it's funny because
how did they figure out about Christmas? Like Who's? How did they happen to create the same holiday that we have here on planet Earth?
I don't know, man. They just got bored. They live on a speck, clearly. It was established.
I don't think they know that, though.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, yeah,
I think... See, here's the thing. I think that The Grinch Who Stole Christmas takes place after Horton Hears a Who. In the Dr. Seuss lore.
This is all very interesting.
No, it is. No, because... Let me explain.
Is there like every snowflake is a different universe?
No. Listen. Because the whole story of Horton Hears a Who is that Horton defends them from being like destroyed, and so now that they're all like safe or whatever, they get to relax and celebrate Christmas. Makes perfect sense.
That's how you do it, dude.
It's absolute. It's all in the gang, dude. It's all in the gang.
All right, so final ratings, guys.
Before we lose our minds.
Before we lose our minds talking about this wonderful movie.
This is the worst podcast we've ever done.
It's the best one.
I find that hard to believe.
We talked about the Grinch slapping Cindy Lou with his fucking Grinch dick in the face.
I know. Dude, I'm so aware that we talked about that.
I'm so proud of myself
I'm glad
that
you
we
were
talked
there
about
and you were
this.
present for that specific conversation. Anyway, final ratings. So we start.
I will personally give this a 2 out of 4.
You're just going straight down the middle.
I think it's average, but not because I think it's a good movie, but only because I was entertained by certain parts of it.
You were laughing at like every... Dude, you
not
almost pissed yourself when he was eating glass bottles.
It's so stupid. I wasn't expecting it either. You know how like the kind of jokes that just kind of sneak up on you and like you're not expecting.
They sneak up. Yeah,
me and you are sitting here like criticizing. You're like leaning back on your lawn chair in my bedroom, like criticizing this movie with me, and Lungs just like every 5 seconds.
I've never seen it all the way through. You guys all know the joke. You knew he was going to eat that glass bottle at one point.
Actually, you know what the scariest part of this movie was, Dillon, is that you were reciting every fucking line that the Grinch, said in this movie.
I used to own it on VHS, man.
How many fucking times did you watch it?
Too many.
What a poor childhood.
Spider-Man 2 and The Lion King.
Yeah, The Lion. Well, we all know you watched Spider-Man 2 over and over because I had the trailer for Hitch in it.
Yeah,
that's the only reason you watched that movie.
Yeah, I really just love that trailer.
What would you give the movie?
What would I give the Grinch or?
No, not Hitch, asshole. The Grinch.
You can give that rating too, because I kind of want to hear it.
Right. So I think the Grinch. I think this is like
the best movie. Clearly,
it's so not something I wanted to watch, and it's so much of a waste of time when you could watch the original and get the same story in a much shorter amount of time.
Or literally any other Christmas movie ever made. I
think that the only reason why you'd watch this movie is for historical purposes, if you're like us, or for Jim Carrey's performance, because he's so over the top. It has to be seen.
Yeah, it's one of like the highlight Jim Carrey performances, especially if you like his like zany like it was still like his like 90s style of like over the top physical humor.
And that's good because he deserves it, because he probably lost a chunk of his brain doing this.
Yeah.
So I don't want to dump on it, but I also don't like it. So I'm gonna say,
I feel like you're gonna give like a 1 or a 0.
I'm gonna give it a 2, like Long.
Interesting. Right down the middle, just like same as me. What about
that's
now?
Right. That's why I said like Long.
Yes, I know. I'm well aware of this. Now on to our final favorite podcast member, Nick.
Long remembered you said that because he was present there for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was here.
So I don't know.
Are you better at speaking Spanish or English?
All right, that's not what we're fucking talking about, man.
Buenos dias, compadres.
It's like a lot of things
Welcome
getting
to
let
Boyz
out
Night.
here. Like you're bilingual. My last name. Just so many things.
Who wants to know my social security number?
Buy it from the black market. Anyway,
Nick sits on a lawn chair in my bedroom for
there was no other chairs
of time.
There was no other chairs, asshole. What's the fuck? You have that there for us to sit in. There's no sofa in your fucking room.
Sometimes I come downstairs and Nick's just sitting on like a lawn chair on my table.
There's no other place to sit. Nick, why don't there's all the chairs around the table? There's no other place to sit. I have to sit on your table in this lawn chair.
Yeah, and then he yells my last name into the microphone.
Oh fuck,
Kane.
Son of a bitch.
Come on, tell us what your rating is, Nick. We all want to hear it.
I give it a 3 out of 4 because of the expanded lore and also the amazing questions it presents the viewer.
It really gets you thinking. Like, we really need a Grinch Stole Christmas 2 to really expand on
this.
A
biology lesson on the Who's themselves. That's what I want.
I want this to be the last time I ever see this movie.
It probably will be.
Like I want to die one day.
Having totally forgotten this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you were just gonna end it like, I want to die one day. That's it. I just want to throw that out there.
I was thinking about ending it there, but I decided.
Don't want to make it too sour of a note.
Yeah.
With an episode where we talked about
the Grinch, which is a pretty sour guy,
Yeah. He's a pretty sour dude living up there.
And
with little garbage
in his strangely crafted mountain home that he apparently did himself.
Yeah, he's super smart and managed to do all that all by himself.
What is your rating, Nick?
Yeah, it's a 3 out of 4.
It's 3 out of 4.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
Okay,
it's totally not a sarcastic rating or anything. It's 3 out of 4. Or fucking any closing remarks? I guess.
No.
No, it looks like everyone's fucking dead, I guess.
No, we're not dead just yet, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. All right, have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe for more shitty podcasts.